This is the plaintiff, Marion Baroker. She says she was going to buy a house the defendant, a broker, was representing and hired an inspector to check it out before she went to contract. 4 days after the inspection, she was told the house was sold to someone else. That's right, he sold the thing right out from under her nose. She doesn't feel she should be on the hook for the cost of the inspection. Can't believe this even happened and is suing for $675, the amount she's out. This is the defendant, Bill Tart. He says the plaintiff dragged her feet on the sale, sat on the contracts for 2 or 3 weeks, and he was under the impression she wasn't interested in actually purchasing the property. He's sorry, but his client got a hot buyer who jumped on the purchase. And well, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. He's accused of being impatient.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff was going to buy a house through the defendant broker who was repping the seller. The plaintiff says the defendant unethically sold it to another buyer. But the defendant says the plaintiff dragged her feet. It's the case of you snooze, you lose.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Marion and Richard, how do I pronounce your last name?
Baroker.
Baroker. You are, and you have power of attorney from your husband, correct?
Yeah, that's
You
correct.
are suing Hoff and Gadis Realty, represented by Bill Tart. You are an agent with them?
Yes.
And you have authority by the owner to be here and represent them?
Yes.
For $675, the cost of an inspection report that you had to pay and you feel that he should reimburse you for because of the circumstances. Tell me what happened.
On June 1st, 2010, we found a house listed by Huff and Gadis Realty. We were interested in looking at the home, so I contacted my real estate agent, Jason Sorley.
You had your own real estate agent?
Yes, I did.
And you were the real estate agent for the seller?
Yes.
Okay.
And we went to see the house. We fell in love with the house, and we decided to put a bid on it. We put several bids on the house, and they finally accepted a bid for $405,000. And then I proceeded to go get they asked my realtor, Jason Sorley, to go get an inspection report.
Wait, they don't care if you get an inspection report. You wanted to get an inspection report.
Well, they like you to get an inspection report because he told me I should get an inspection report.
Everybody should.
Right.
But I'm not understanding, like, just in terms of contracts, where are you at that point? Had you signed a contract and then the sale was contingent on you being able to pull out if you didn't like the results of the inspection report, or you did not sign a contract yet?
We did not sign a contract as of yet.
Did either realtor suggest signing a contract and then having an inspection period?
No.
Meaning you have X number of days to get an inspection and then you can just pull out because you don't like the inspection report?
No.
Or you get an inspection report and then they get a chance to cure whatever it is if it's not an as-is sale. Was this an as-is sale?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe the custom's just different where you're from, but where I'm from, what we do is we just have an inspection period. Do you guys not do that?
What we normally do is that I do have signed from her is a sales agreement. Normally we write on the sales agreement that a home inspection will be done within 48 hours of the accepted offer.
Okay. Is that what you did in this case?
No, again, I work for the seller.
Right.
She had her own agent representing her.
Right.
They did not do it within 48 hours, and they did not write on their sales agreement as part of the term that they were going to get a home inspection.
Okay. What is it that you're showing me? This is a what?
This is a sales agreement that was written up by her agent.
Which is distinguishable from a contract for the house?
It's in New York, we use attorneys.
Okay.
Yeah,
We use attorneys too. We just don't do this. Go ahead.
It's a sales agreement basically of the terms of the sale.
It just basically says we agree to agree?
We agree to a price and terms that get sent to the attorneys that draw up the contracts.
Did the seller ever sign this?
No.
Oh, okay. And so
the purchaser did sign it.
The purchaser did sign it. They signed it, but
Yes.
the seller didn't sign it.
No.
And you then go out and you get an inspection and an engineering report and everything else, and that costs you $675. And then what happens?
I got my inspection report, and we were both parties. They were going through a divorce, and each one sent my attorney 2 separate contracts. So my attorney said, listen, we're going to just deal with one contract. So that held up the contracts from being signed. But in between that we were going to sign contracts, they accepted another buyer's for the house without even disclosing any information that they even had another buyer for the home.
Okay.
So we were going forward thinking.
Okay, but when was the date that you paid the $675? Or when you hired somebody that did that work? That was
June
what?
12th, 2010.
Okay. And when did you accept an offer from someone else?
June 18th.
Okay. Between June 12th and June 18th, what happened that a contract wasn't signed? Because of the dueling contracts on their part?
That's correct.
Okay, but your attorney has to just sit down for 2 hours and go over them and reconcile them and do whatever and come up with something. That didn't happen in those 6 days.
No.
Who was you think that her attorney was a relative? Where did you get that?
That's what I heard. I thought the other agent
Was the
said
attorney?
that.
Oftentimes people use relatives. Was the attorney a relative?
Yes.
Okay. Is that you were paying or that you weren't paying?
Not paying.
Because sometimes you get what you paid for. Okay, so he's got his paying, or she's got her paying. She or he?
She.
She's got her paying customers, and you're going to have to wait because nobody expects this to happen, which is that your sellers sold to someone else. Now, tell me about that. That contract gets entered into on the 18th.
No, we accepted the offer.
On the 18th.
On the 18th, we accepted it. They went and did their home inspection within 48 hours. Contracts were signed within 5 days.
Out of curiosity, were you contacting her at all?
I was. Within that time, I did text message and did call her attorney asking why the contracts haven't been signed and returned.
And what answer did the attorney give?
The attorney gave me that they were having a hard time getting in touch with the buyer.
Now, my experience, in home buying is that there is nothing you people like better than a little bidding war, a good old-fashioned bidding war. Okay? So why, out of curiosity, doesn't it help the seller to have somebody you were very interested in that house, right? Yes. You have kids?
Yes, I have 2.
Okay. And have the kids seen the house?
Yes, Your Honor.
How old are the kids?
4 and 6 months.
Oh, okay. The 6 month is clueless. But did the 4-year-old pick out his or her bedroom?
Yes, he did, Your Honor.
They're excited. You're excited. So why, isn't it in your client's best interest to sort of tell her, listen, I got another person interested. Get your act together or you lose it.
So the broker sells the house to another seller. Does the broker have to pay this plaintiff for the inspection?
No, I don't think so. There's no contract ahead of time, and so you just lose it.
Was the plaintiff stupid to hire an inspector before having a contract to buy the house?
I think so. I mean, you jump the gun. I mean, it's not the way you normally do things, and so you just got to take the risks.
So tough luck.
Tough luck.
We will see going inside the courtroom.
I was calling her attorney and...
Now, did you say that information I just said? Did you ever let them know?
No.
But I guess my question to you is why not? Isn't that in your client's best interest to get things churning and get a bidding war going?
Well, we already had full price offer.
From the other people. There is no bidding war. That's it. It's over.
Full price. They moved
on.
Full
price. That's it. You got it. If you hold it out at a price, you have to take it's full price, and so that's that. Did those folks know that you had somebody else interested?
Yes.
Okay, they knew because that's why they came up to full price. That's the answer to the mystery.
When we accept an offer, we continue to show the property until both contracts are executed.
So tell me then why it is. Okay, Ms. Burker, that you believe that they have to reimburse you because they didn't tell you that other people might.
I went and got an inspection report on the contingency that I was going to buy this home.
I know, my dear, but you didn't. You didn't get your act together. Your lawyer didn't get their act together. You didn't sign a contract. You don't have a contract. You wanted the realtor to tell you what? You know you don't have a contract for the house. He should remind you that you don't have a contract and that you haven't consummated the deal?
Well, he should have disclosed that he had another buyer.
They didn't have another buyer until 6. First of all, let's assume that he has some duty to disclose to you that he has another buyer, which he doesn't. But let's say he does. Okay? They didn't have another buyer until 6 days after you had already concluded your inspection. They want to sell to the highest bidder. Did you think for a moment that this guy represents you? This guy doesn't represent you. This guy represents the seller, but really he represents him and his family that he has to put food on the table for. The realtors have one objective: sell the house at the highest price. So what is it you think he did wrong? That he didn't tell you that you ran a risk that any thinking person has to know they were running? Well, you can't stop. You can't collect this money from them. This is what we call a cost of doing business. Okay? You don't have a contract, lady, until you have a contract. And that's that. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, that's how it goes sometimes. If you don't have a contract, you don't have a contract. How does that sit with you?
Well, what can you do? I guess I lost.
Well, what have you learned in this courtroom here?
Karma is that they never sold the house because they couldn't get the mortgage. So the people that wanted it and they offered such a big price never paid it. So
All right, that's their side of it. But on your side of it, you acted without a contract.
Right.
All right, so you learned that lesson then?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Thank
All right.
you.
Right this way. All right, so here he is. He wins this case. Come on in here. You satisfied how this comes out here?
Yes.
How would you characterize that customer?
Just goes to show you have to act when you purchase something. You have to sign a contract that's a legal binding contract.
Well, couldn't you have called her and said, "Oh, listen"?
I didn't have a.
We have
I
somebody-
work for the seller. She had a buyer's agent.
Yeah. So the answer is no. You didn't need to call her or do anything. Just
I called her.
Who cares about her, right?
Texted her agent and called her attorney.
Harvey?
Okay, this guy is absolutely right. It's ridiculous to jump the gun. When you don't have a firm contract, you do everything at your own peril. Wait to sign the contract.